Okay, this is the story of my craziest time on LSD. So, this one time, I was at a music festival with my brother, and he was like, "Hey man, I got some acid from this guy in a porta potty, dude. You want to take some?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. Okay, that sounds cool." And so he gives me the acid. I take, I took 5 tabs, and this was some good LSD, man. Like, this was good. Like, this was good LSD. And, uh, so I take it. I start dancing like crazy. And, like, 3 hours into this, I'm fucking tripping balls, dude. I was, like, in another world. You know, like in another world, man. So, I was dancing, and I looked down at the floor or the ground, and I was like, "Where's the ground?" And the ground wasn't there. And before I knew it, I was laying down. I was like, "Oh, the ground was here the whole time," but I just fell over. But I had been falling for like an hour, man. That's what it felt like, anyways. But when I realized I was on the ground, my brother's like, "Dude, man, you've been on the ground for like ever, man." And then I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Well, it's pretty comfortable down here." So my brother lays down next to me. He's like, "You're right, dude." But then I forgot. Everyone else around me was like, "What the heck is this guy doing?" So the staff comes, and my brother jumps up really fast before they see he's on the ground. But I can't get up that fast because I'm not fast like he is. But I was just sitting there on the ground like, "Oh no, the staff." So the staff of the music festival picks me up, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna call the cops, man." I was like, "Don't call the cops, man. The cops will bust me, man. I don't want to get busted, man. I don't want to get busted, man." So they call the cops anyways. I'm like, "Dude, not cool. This is not cool. I didn't want to get busted, man. I wouldn't have called the cops on you." And they were like, "Whatever, man. You're getting busted because you can't. Drugs are illegal." I was like, "Whatever." So I didn't like the staff guys after that. I don't like them. But the cops came and they put me in the back of their car, and they were like, "Come on, son, let's go." And they took me down to the station. I was under arrest, by the way. So they put me in a cell, and then like after a million hours of waiting, someone finally comes and gets me, and they take me into this room. And they're like, "Okay, son, are you on anything?" And I was like, I almost said, "Yeah, man," but then I was like, "No, I can't let the cops know because they'll bust me." So I was like, "No, I'm not on anything, officer." And they were like, "Really? Wait, are you willing to take a drug test?" And I was thinking for a minute. I was like, "Hang on, let me think." And I was like, "Okay, if I take a drug test, I might test positive for marijuana. But there's no way they can get me for LSD because LSD's in micrograms, okay? So it would cost like $1 billion to test for it. And I was like, "I don't have $1 billion. No way." So who's paying that? I don't have $1 billion. I can't even afford a fucking drink from a gas station. No way I can fucking afford $1 million drug test. So anyways, they pick me up. Or they don't pick me up. They already picked me up. They're like, "Okay, come take this drug test." And I don't remember when the last time I smoked fucking marijuana was. But I tested positive for marijuana. I was like, "Oh shit." So they put me on diversion, and I was like, "Oh no, god damn it, not diversion." So I was on diversion, and I had to take a drug test once every month. I was like, "Man, I miss take smoking fucking weed. Like LSD's cool and all, but I wanna get high sometimes." So my cousin, he's like, "Yo, man, my girlfriend will hook you up with her pee. She doesn't smoke weed, man. She's not into weed. I was like, all right, cool. So I started using her pee, but it turns out she does like a ton of ecstasy, and that can be traced in a drug test. So I give them the pee, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go test this. And they're like, what the fuck? This tested positive for ecstasy. I didn't know that she'd done ecstasy, okay? But she must have felt empty amazing. But anyways, um, yeah, so they like find the ecstasy and they're like, you wanna explain this? I was like, no man, I didn't do no ecstasy, man. That was that's not my pee. And they're like, what? This isn't your pee? I was like, no, man, wait. I mean, that is my pee, but it's not my. Oh fuck, I'm busted, aren't I? And they're like, okay, you got some explaining to do, buddy. You're telling me you stole someone's pee? I was like, hey man, don't bust me, man. I'll give you some fucking weed, bro. And then he's like, okay, now I'm gonna charge you for bribery with marijuana. I was like, shit, dude, don't do that. So I he's like, okay, man. So is this your pee or not? And I was like, no, man, it's not my pee. It's my cousin's girlfriend's. So they call in her, and she's like, that's not my pee, I promise. And they're like, oh yeah, were you willing to take a pee test right now? And she was like, yeah, sure. And she took a pee test, and they come back and they're like, it wasn't her pee. This guy's lying. It was his pee. He's on ecstasy. And I was like, no, man. What the hell? How is that even possible? I, I fucking bought pee from her, and turns out she was turns out she had bought pee from her friend. Okay, and she didn't do any drugs. I was like, man, that's messed up, man. That's not cool, man. That's not fun. So anyways, I get taken to jail and I'm put in jail. I'm not just on diversion. That fuck that diversion shit. They're like, you're going to jail. No diversion for you. And I was like, God damn it. So they take me to jail. I just like, dude, I really don't like the staff at that music festival. Like, come on. But anyways, they take me to jail and they're like, yo man, you're gonna be here for a long time, man. And anyways, but I got off early for good behavior, so it was cool. But anyways, my cousin, he visited me one time and he sent me a letter. But the letter was actually LSD, man. Like it was a tray. He wrote a letter on a tray of acid. And they were like, "Hey, it's a letter from your cousin." And so I was like, "Oh shit, I know what this is." And I took half the tray of acid in one night. And that was my craziest time on LSD, man.